Over the past 2 or 3 years, I've scripted tons of YouTube videos, and writing can feel like a cheat code, whether to keep people engaged or to land a call with a millionaire. And in this video, I'm going to share 5 systems that I've learned through my journey to help you keep the right viewers hooked. And no, that doesn't require word for word scripting. The first system is very simple. I call it literally pain point. And let's start explaining it with an example. You know, when you go to your friend or your friend comes to you and he starts asking you questions, but he doesn't actually want your opinion. He wants you to just say to him what's already in his mind. We all do it. Well, this kind of also translates to YouTube videos. We watch content that relates to us, and one of the best ways to do so is to address the pain point in the video. Think of it like putting the broccoli in the pizza. We're using this as a bridge to give them what they actually need, since we don't want to be like other people just giving them fluff and bullshit. And actually, by talking about their problems in the video, it's kind of like objection handling. They know that you understand them and they can relate to those problems. One of the best examples, in my opinion, is Charlie Morgan. There was a period when he started really getting attraction, and during that period, in his videos, he was brutally honest by addressing the problems of the audience. Frankly, because he was in the situation of the audience, so he knows the audience very well. And this also applies for you guys that have businesses. You probably know what your audience suffers from. Quick heads up, I'm opening something for entrepreneurs with real businesses like you. This whole idea kind of relates to the liking principle in Robert Cialdini's book, Influence the Psychology of Persuasion, who also want to grow their brand on YouTube. Whether you're struggling with a particular aspect of the videos or you're really putting in that effort, but you're not getting what you expect, people are more likely to be influenced by those they know, like, and relate to. And you're also not satisfied with the industry, or you haven't started yet and you've been thinking about it for a long time. It's not just about picking the camera and being raw and authentic. No, it's also being strategic about it. Well, this is also a space with other people like you to get that accountability in and get the action necessary to get to your goal. So, how do you go about this? Where do you sprinkle these problems? Well, one of the people I'm helping currently, she basically addresses the problem in the intro, and that's a great way to do it. Right now, I'm only accepting about 20 people since it's something new, and I really want to focus my energy helping you. I can share a sneak peek like thumbnail system and proven ideas to work, and even a way to test your thumbnails even before making the video so that you know if it works or not. If that sounds interesting, click the first link in the description. It's only a matter of time before starting. And yes, it's free. Let's keep it a secret. Kind of like, for example, Reendorse. It's so good of an example to skip.
Why is it that we can scroll social media, play video games for hours without trying, but struggle to focus even minutes on our most important priorities?
One other way you could do it is by actually addressing and solving the pain point at the same time. For example, the woman I'm helping, while she pinpoints the problem, she also tells stories that relate to it and she gives solutions around that. So it's more like showing the audience that you relate to them and you understand them. However, identifying the struggle isn't enough, of course. There's a deeper layer that not only hooks your viewers, but also sets the tone for them to take action when it comes to another persuasion technique we're going to cover. But identifying the struggle isn't enough. There's a deeper layer when it comes to, for example, making the viewer take action. Of course, we want to ethically manipulate them. We're not going to cover it yet because after grabbing the viewer's attention by their pain, you need to give them a reason to stick around. Now, again, you may have heard this before, give people reasons so that the video doesn't look like clickbait and all that stuff. Yeah, this is the promise plan phase. It's about creating an anticipation loop. And the first goal of it is to actually help the viewer make the decision on whether to watch or not. Because many people click on the video not even sure about should they watch, should they not. So this helps them. And for the other viewers who decide to keep going, it's more like reducing uncertainty. Of course, we don't want to tell them about every crap the video is going to be about, but we want to give them a general theme, an overview. Reduce uncertainty. We actually don't like uncertainty that much. It's like going to a restaurant knowing that you'll have to wait 30 minutes instead of trying something new. Just because you're certain you only have to wait 30 minutes and the food is great. Now, a little great technique that goes with it is to actually show what the video is going to be about, whether with icons or just text, kind of like visually mapping the video for the viewer. This isn't actually something new. People have been already using it in marketing for a long time. Now, obviously, when it comes to making educational videos, we assume that the audience wants to learn. They'd rather watch a raw, unedited video rather than like a fancy edited one and all that stuff. That's totally crap because over the past months and even year, one thing that a lot of people overlooked is proof. Those people who sit in front of their desk and start filming the screen of their laptop, showing their bank balance and all that stuff and talking like a professional, they have a high level of proof. Of course, a lot of people making the same type of unedited video style is gonna lead to an influx in supply while the demand is already fulfilled and all that stuff. But just to give you the point, proof is actually king. And I too don't have immense proof, and there's a way around that. We're gonna get to it in a bit. Although the pain point and promise plan are super duper great ethical manipulation techniques for persuasion, proof stands above them. But the greater the proof is, the greater those systems will have an impact. Proof is actually like kind of the ultimate amplifier. The reason proof really works in Robert Cialdini's Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion, there are multiple automatic levers that put people on autopilot. That's where the bias of, if an expert says so, then it must be true, comes in handy. Like, just think about when you were in the class and the teacher made a mistake and you know it's a mistake. Other people also do, but you're kind of afraid of saying that it is a mistake because of course, he's the expert. You could literally tell the same advice as someone else, but since he has more proof than you, he's more likely to win. I'm gonna give an example by myself. In my previous videos, there were posts where I gave advice like Caleb. Caleb, super great man. I actually like his content. We're kind of in the same industry and I respect the guy. And I actually just recently noticed that yesterday, since I consumed a lot of his content. In a few of my previous videos, I kind of gave the same overlapping advice. Now, I could get into details on why we have the same ideas, but that's not the point. The point is, he has more proof than me. Yes, I started making content since the age of 10, now helping people with it, but he's been in this game 16 years and he's helped big people like Gary Vee and Alex Hormozy. So makes sense. So if you have proof, use it and don't just simply use it. One of the people I'm helping in his last video, I told the editor to add clips of him talking in masterminds, which also simply makes it visually more appealing and conveys the idea in a better way. The woman I'm helping that I referred back to early in the video, she explicitly describes her experience with no visual. That also works. The biggest mistake is not actually using the proof to your advantage. Yes, it could get kind of boring saying it in every video, but most people who watch your videos are new people. And even think about it, a loyal fan hearing you saying your experience every time in every video isn't actually a big deal. It's kind of just a reminder. Even big channels like Alex Hermosi do.
I've been in business for 14 years. I have a portfolio of companies that last year did over $250 million in aggregate revenue. And
This whole video in front of us actually levers this idea, using her status as an accountant to explain money habits. Now, what if you don't have that much proof? Well, this next system actually works whether you already have it or don't have much of it. And it's simply effort. For example, what does it mean to be a doctor? It means that you went to medical school and probably studied for a hell lot of time with sleep deprivation and stress and all that stuff. Well, doesn't that kind of convey the idea of putting in effort? It's just that is synthesized into the status of a doctor. Can't we simply talk about the effort thing? We still want the audience to give the video the value it deserves and to help respond to their objection around who are you to even talk about this subject? Well, it looks like we can. Proof is a testament for effort. This system actually reminded me of a discussion I had with an IT professional. I think like he kind of makes apps and software stuff like that. And of course, I'm paraphrasing, but he essentially said to me, when working with somebody and he asks you to make a piece of software and you happen to actually have it already made, don't just give it to him and tell him that, oh, I already have it made, because he won't value it as much. Instead, say to him that, oh, it took me a lot of time when I had this problem and all of that. Of course, this involves lying, and I don't want you to lie, but it's just to give you the point. If you spend years doing something, say so. If it took you 700 hours to learn something, say it. Even I did it in the beginning of the video. Then we have the most sinister system of them all. And it may be known as simple CDA or call to action, but it's much more than that. Doing a call to action the normal way is actually pretty bad. Like, just imagine watching a video of someone and he's telling you to book a call with him. I mean, look, it works. And sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I did it myself in the past, but it's in the way you do it. Think about when someone does you a favor. You feel like you owe them something. You're not obligated to return the favor, but you feel like you must. So when they ask you for something, they have leverage on you. This is simply reciprocity. But when it comes to making videos, it doesn't work unless you give incredible value per second. And it's really hard maximizing the amount of value per second per video. Because at the end of the day, people are now used to watching free videos. In fact, now publishing your course online for free seems like the norm. That's because the free online valuable video stuff has been normalized. And the way for reciprocity to be really effective is for your videos to actually have an impact on the viewer, like him taking action and seeing the results in real life. Again, the system could still work, which I'm going to show you how in a bit, but I'm really emphasizing the amount of value you should give in the video. And you don't actually define quality. The viewers are the ones who define what quality is, because there is no objective religion that everyone in space refers back to in case they want to know what the objective standard is. One of the best podcasts that apply this reciprocity aspect, in fact, I learned this from him, Stephen Bartlett, the host of the show, when reading his book. The fastest growing podcast on YouTube, literally. After each intro, he dedicates a whole segment for reciprocity. I'm gonna let you analyze it for a bit.
If you like this show, if you like what we do here, if you watch these episodes, please just hit that subscribe button. It means the world.
It's as simple as that. Just about calling out the favor. Just if you like this video and you want to benefit and apply these systems, you can get them in the new community I'm starting for people like you, online entrepreneurs who want to leverage YouTube.